All right, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. If you're not done so already, give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, here, markets taking a little bit of a dip today, although we're coming nicely off the lows. And you guys let me know in the comments here. I gotta hear your opinion on this. I've been doing this quite a long time. And the PPT, everybody knows about them. They don't come out nearly as often as people think they do, but if you ask me, that was a PPT candle. And why do I think that? It's got really all the characteristics of it. Unexplained volume surge, unexplained way outside candle. I mean, this is a huge outside candle. And you're also in an area where, if we look at the last 3 days, we've been kind of just stuck in this little range here, essentially. We had that one little breakout yesterday, but we've been stuck, this is the lows here. And you look, if we break through that, you've got a lot of real estate. You got the gap fill down there. And, it's clear that market makers did not want this to break out, or break to the downside, I should say, before the FOMC. So something's going on here. How much is it going to really matter in the grand scheme of things tomorrow? I don't really know. But to me, that looked like a purposeful bid there. We had that little breakdown. We kind of reversed, and then it tried to roll back over, and then somebody came in and said, no, we're not doing that today. So either way, markets are down regardless, and really Apple is the market right now. If you look at my screen here, and Tesla was, kind of also helping out. But even Tesla's back to the flat line, actually went negative at one point today. So really Tesla and Apple are the whole market. And if you just take a look here, we'll just pull up the NASDAQ 100. Here's Apple, Tesla's barely green, Pepsi, everything else is red. Meta, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Broadcom, ASML. So all these, the whole market here is being held up by Apple. And again, this is another characteristic that I've been pointing out recently, that this is not really a bullish thing. Apple's more of a safe stock. This whole run up here, Apple was doing all the heavy lifting. None of the other sectors were getting rallies or bids like that. And it's just another red flag here to the already kind of stacked case for the bears, really. And that's really the only bull case right now to me, is that the market is so bearish going into the FOMC that you could get some type of a bull reaction. I think we will get a bull reaction tomorrow. I just don't really see that much upside. I mean, maybe you could get back up to this upsloping trend line here. But you got a lot of work to do. You really Friday, if we were going to have some sort of bull move, in my opinion, Friday they needed to save this pivot here on a weekly close. And that would have saved, the weekly engulfing candle. That would have saved this pivot. And then you could have had a case where, if we're up Monday, Tuesday, you could get back above the 20 and the 100 moving average. Instead, you're below all major moving averages. We're just in a weak technical position going into the FOMC. Really, that's kind of the only way to put it. But I thought it was a little interesting, though, that, we did have that little, what looks like a PPT move there. And, again, Apple really is the market here. Look at the rest of the market. IGV is red, SMH is red. All the NASDAQ 100 names are red, and it's Apple doing all the work. Even fins are down today. Energy is just getting a bid here. XLE still down 20 basis points though. So again, if Apple was down, this market would be getting pounded right now. Basically, the bottom would fall out of it. But either way, and speaking of bottom falling out, big company here. Take a look at Google. This is into double. It's actually below double bottom now. And if you look at the weekly, this needs to get saved. I mean, they got to close this thing back above 107, 108 by Friday to really save this. Otherwise, this is a breakdown here. I mean, this could be a $90 stock very quickly. So a lot of these, other big, and Microsoft too. I mean, like this, risk reward setup. This isn't bad here. You're straight down into double bottom, but what's this done since Friday, really, when it first kind of tested double bottom? It hasn't really done anything. So a lot of weakness here. And again, the only kind of the positive is that things are so weak that it's almost bullish. But, you know, at some point you got to call a spade here. So I guess, you know, there is a chance we can get a little bit of a bid here. I do think we will get a bid off the FOMC. I think the reaction will be bullish. You'll see some hedges come off. There's lots of hedges out there right now. But, you know, ultimately, I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to amount to much. I think we are going lower, and the VIX is still coiling here, by the way. So VIX, you know, they're still selling calls above 27, but it's coiling. It's making daily higher highs. So it's showing lots of strength right now. But anyways, yeah, so market's basically back up to this area. We'll probably finish with like a daily doji. It's 3:45 p.m. right now, so not really too much to go off of here. Just kind of just stuck in this lower range here the last couple of days. And, you know, Powell will obviously, you know, move everything when, you know, he goes on the microphone. And really what we're looking for is guidance. I don't think the market cares about the number, unless it's a surprise number. But the market doesn't really care about the number so much as they care about forward guidance. So that's going to be the mover tomorrow. Anyways, here, triple Qs. Again, we talked about that in extensively today. But again, there you see it actually outperforming a little bit. And a lot of it has to do with Apple being the biggest. So Apple is kind of holding up the Qs down just 50 basis points, where spiders are down 83 currently. So Qs showing a little bit of relative strength today. Russell 2000 down 1%. And the diamond down 75 basis points. So again, a pullback day across the board here. Semiconductors, again, down just under 1%, down 83, 82 basis points there. Still showing some weakness. NVIDIA down 1% as well. And this really, you know, had a good chance to bounce a week or two ago, and this has not done anything. It still is into some really good weekly support down here, but, you know, you would have liked to have seen a better reaction by now. But again, lots of weakness in these sectors here. IGV, down over 1% today. Still have that head and shoulder pattern in play there. And again, you know, just kind of inside of yesterday's candle, it's more of a pause day here for a lot of things as we just kind of wait for the Fed. Dow Transport's also getting hit a little bit today, but they did save yesterday's lows and, you know, and Friday's lows as well. So kind of just hanging down there in that range. But you had a good chance to bounce yesterday. This is the concern here. Like this is, so you came into, you know, basically double, triple bottom, whatever, with good volume, and you bounced off the low Friday. And yesterday you had a good reversal candle, a good engulfing reversal. You know, you engulfed the body of Friday's, you know, so this should have had a shot to get up to gap fill today, and it did nothing. So again, just more relative weakness here from, you know, sectors like the transports and the semiconductors, just not something that you want to see. All right, so interest rates today. Again, 10-year yield moving higher here, so 2.32%. Again, the only kind of, again, here's the negative here for yields is that they kind of priced in a really hawkish Fed. See where this trend line is going back to. Yeah, so way back there. So you're getting into some pretty, I mean, this is the level that we haven't seen since 2011 here on the 10-year yield. So again, it's basically pricing in an extremely hawkish Fed. And if the Fed is just regularly hawkish, you know, that could set yields up for some type of a correction here. 30-year up as well. The 2-year taking another low here. I'll look at the actual 2-year chart. So the yield is actually at 3.97. So it's almost at 4% here. And if the Fed raises by 75 basis points tomorrow, the Fed funds rate's only going to be at about 3%. So there's still going to be a whole 100 basis points away. So even if they raise tomorrow, it's not like it's going to be the end. They still have lots of work to do. So again, there's just more problems until they get up to that 2-year yield. That's really the bottom line. Anyways, HYG here down 1%, just like everything else today. Home builders down over 2, so XHB there. There's the ITB down 1.5 there. VNQ down 2.25 there. You know, really kind of coming down and filling this gap. But what a fall there on the VNQ. Pretty remarkable there, as it's pretty much retraced all the way to the June lows there. You know, much like Microsoft too. So all the way back to the June lows there on Microsoft as well. Definitely some weakness here moving forward. Anyways, XLF down 1.25, again bouncing off of yesterday's lows. I mean, there's just inside candles pretty much everywhere here. broker dealers, XBD, same kind of thing. Starting to try to make higher lows though, so that's in a little bit better shape from a relative standpoint. Energy, so crude again pulling back. Again, just kind of an inside day here. Market's really, this is why I said yesterday, let's not make too much out of anything that happens today or tomorrow, because, the market's really just waiting on the Fed. But again, inside day here on crude, a little bit of a pullback, nothing too serious, wouldn't make much out of it. XLE actually close to the flat line, so that's actually a little bit of a stronger sector here is energy. There's the OIH as well, down 2%, but showing a little bit of relative strength here to the rest of the market today. Nat gas also not really doing a whole lot. It did come up and tag this trend line again, and then kind of got a rejection. We'll see if it, if it breaks this low, it's probably going to shoot right down to this level very quickly. But for right now, just kind of holding up. We'll see what we get tomorrow with the Federal Reserve. Dollar index starting to bid up here a little bit, so maybe some traders still front running the Fed a little bit more. Again, there's lots of hedges going on, so makes sense the dollar is up here, but we do have a bullish inside bar. So technically speaking, from a technical standpoint, this is very strong ahead of the FOMC. So the only problem is that it's very extended as well. So again, not to be a broken record here, but it's really all about tomorrow. Gold here, again, an inside day. We've seen the same thing with GDX, a little bit of a pullback, nothing major there. Silver starting to set up nicely, and this is set up to go. This could go tomorrow if we get a favorable reaction to the FOMC. This has a very strong inside bar pattern above the 50 and 20 moving average, and I think this is ready to push maybe as soon as tomorrow or Thursday. So I like what silver is doing right here. Platinum up again today. It did come into a little bit of resistance though, again, so tagging that trend line again that I talked about yesterday, but I think this is poised to put in a higher low and make another leg up. So platinum showing some strength here. Palladium also kind of an inside day, so nothing really going on there. And then copper, down 33 basis points again, kind of a nothing burger there as well. Again, let's not make too much out of today. All right, let's flip over to Bitcoin. Yep. So Bitcoin, same thing, pullback day inside of yesterday's candle. You had a nice little pop off the lows, kind of just retracing here. Again, we can't really make too much out of it. Ether a little bit of an inside day there, but you still have that daily head and shoulders there, so we'll have to watch that. If you do get above this on a daily close, this white trend line here, that would negate that pattern, just so everyone is clear. But right now, crypto's still in a weak technical position, as we've really noted pretty much every single day. Anyways, all right, market's closing a few minutes here. Spider's getting a little bit of a bid, and then now pulling back a little bit. Again, looks like we're going to get kind of a daily doji, a little bit of an indecision day. Again, it's all going to matter about the Fed tomorrow. The one thing that I will say about the last 2 days of price action is that we are in a poor technical position. Daily downtrend, weekly downtrend, and hourly downtrend, 4-hour downtrend. So this is not a good look for the bulls. Again, the only real case you have here is that there's so many hedges and so many downside bets that you could get that kind of short squeeze if the hedges come off tomorrow. But anyways, we'll see it all about tomorrow. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com, and I'll talk to you all later.